Today I'm going to be walking you through the profile I made for Zodiac and my best estimate of his name. I haven't had time to go through and try to actually complete the whole cipher wheels, like the 2 code wheels, but how I started was when I first looked at this big cipher, at the very bottom, I saw this. And right here, in this first little fill-in, is Zodiac. It's Z-O-D, and they flipped the A and I, and a C for K. He wanted you to see that, I think. As soon as these other letters, so this in the Zodiac symbol down here, and I think there's 3 overlaps here, and that's going to be his initials. They use a second, this overlaps. I said it 3 times. Zodiac symbol, Zodiac, his professional name, and then his real name initials. So that was my theory going into it. And then I was like, next thing I thought was, I'm going to forget this line. I'm going to screw up here. But then I filled in all the Zodiac symbols. So these little red dots, you can see in here. And then I took these and it makes 3 groups of 3. And I drew this in the wrong way. I was trying to do this in a hurry. So there's 1 here, 1 there, 1 there. And then I wanted like, this has to be a Zodiac sign. Just look up constellations, and the one it makes is Cancer. It's all going to overlap on these 2 that are closest together on each one. And that's going to be Cancer. Delta and Gamma. So Gamma Canceri and Delta Canceri and Gamma Canceri. They overlap on those points. And then it'll look like this once you get them in location. This one's upside down. So this is the stars there. And I cut it off here in my stupid printer. And at the top, but yeah, Cancer. It's a symbol, which is pretty cool. No one ever figured that out. So then the next thing I looked at was, I found this letter which I'd never read before. And, what do you see it? Being that you will not wear some nice buttons. He always talks about this. How about wearing some nasty buttons? Or any type of Zodiac buttons that you can think up. If you do, not wear it, blah, 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 blah. Talks about that. Part that it got my attention was I have, God, his handwriting's an atrocity. I've been waiting, it's spelled wrong, of course. Been wasting away. For me in paradise, there's people he's talking about he wants to kill or something. It's like, in paradise, I shall tie over anthills and watch them scream, twitch, and squirm. Blah, blah, blah. And then another one about torturing using pine splinters driven under the nails. And salt beef he used as a torture. So right away, this word jumped out at me. I saw this word and anthills. I automatically jumped to this division in my mind, which is Alabama or Mississippi, ant beds and pine trees. There's no doubt to my mind is that. And that's because in real life, pine splinters are not what you use to make torture. It's bamboo, and it comes from the Japanese during World War II, or Asia, for that matter, in general. And so this is more of a story about his background, with these little hints dropped into it. I don't know why he did that, but he did. And salt beef to be a torture, I think really hard. It's like, what the heck does that mean? Changing to this. So this is a dish called shit on a shin. And if you were in the Navy, and after you ran out of fresh food, and you were out to sea for for months on end, you're fed this 3 times a day. It's salt beef in a cream sauce cinnamon toast points, or toast, I should say. And they eat this a lot. It's a very famous, also known as SOS. Help me, God. I don't want to eat this again. So there you go. And as you'll see here, let me flip this around. And this part about buttons. These were several letters I covered, but just talk about buttons. And I'm trying to move around so much. I'll just do this in film. To do that, I talked really about him. So his buttons, he has to move around. This is back in 1969 when he started doing this. And the buttons he's referring to, in my opinion, is going to be political buttons. And those political buttons were very popular and very collectible. Just are collectibles today. People have big collections of them. In 68, knowing pine needles, pine trees and ant beds and everything else. What we're going to be talking about is George Wallace candidacy. He was the governor of Alabama. He split the damn Democratic Party back then. He was a Klan member, and he took all the really rough and humble ones out of the South, I should say. He did not win. He would not have been well received in San Francisco. He only won like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. What did I say? Louisiana? I don't remember, but just a handful. Like 8% of electoral college is all he got. So with all that in mind, I know he was in the Navy. He was in George Wallace. So where I think he would have been serving at some point in time, he's raced the USS Alabama. But it's a battleship. But he would have been in the Navy, and we just checked San Francisco and Mobile, Alabama, I think, is a good place to look in naval records. And we should be able to come up with a person who fits this profile pretty good. But the last thing we're going to look at is one last cipher. This one's pretty straightforward. This is a Zodiac speaking. By the way, have you cracked my last cipher? He's a terrible speller. I sent you. Maybe cracked the last cipher I sent you. He writes, my name is. He gives you this little weird. Let me rotate this for us. So here, he gives us this. Now, this is his name. He actually gave us his name, his signature on the bottom of this damn page. So it was what we had from the first one. So I got to work out. So my name is, he always says, this is a Zodiac speaking. It's right there at the top. He always says it. So the first three letters here are going to be the Zodiac symbol. So we leave that. This is not a Zodiac symbol. It's like an X. It's really a number 8 that he makes a circle around. So it's a shorthanded version of doing this up here, which is an X with a circle. For omit, it's a proofreader mark. So it's going to be a space, a symbol, a space, a symbol, a space, then 4 more symbols. Get this to work. You can bring down the so it'll be the Zodiac, space. So this is his first name initial, middle initial, and his last name. And then the EI fill in from the first one. And everything works out perfectly. And the K, an alternating code wheel of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. My best guess for his name is going to be like, the numbers we have are C, E, I, which leaves this blank for this middle initial, and then the first and last letter of his last name. And I guessed Weir, which gives me CR Weir, and the CR. Probably Christopher would have been a popular name back then, and Christopher Robin. It's just a guess. But that's probably wrong. But that part's probably wrong. It's just me daydreaming. But more from the C and the EI, hit the naval records, we got us a name.